Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to Stock and Coin. Today is Matic absolutely going to go haywire and go parabolic. Well, we're going to discuss that with you today. And if you haven't already, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell, get the latest and realest news in cryptocurrency. All right, so let's dive into it. Let's stop wasting time. So Matic has been one of those coins that have been doing really, really well. Right now, we're actually kind of moving into a channel. If you guys don't really quite understand, don't worry. I'm going to give it to you, deadheads. Looking here, when we're looking here at the channel that we have that upward movement, everybody's kind of iffy about Matic at this point, right? And that's okay. That's cool. I'm not trying to sell you, right? So today it's still sitting kind of below at like $2 each. But the thing about it is that as it's moving into this channel, this wedge, if you will, this ascending wedge, which is really, really good. I know a lot of you are probably going to actually say, hey, look, like December the 9th, we had this really ugly red candle. Look, dude, that's part of it. Why that's part of it is because you want to see these candles. You want to see a trend, a retracement. You want to see a trend, a retracement. It's healthy. It's what happens. We're up at higher highs and higher lows, and that's a really good thing. Now, what this is telling us, what's giving it in is that the actual candles are typically getting a little bit smaller. Not like how they were just like back in the beginning of November, which started kind of consolidating, but still going up, right? And we can see that too before. Anytime you see it actually starting consolidating, like right here, it's going to jump. And that's a big sign. And another big thing is right now the market is booming. Looking at the volume for Matic, it is fantastic. But some bad news. You see right here as we're kind of sitting over the resistance, and we're very right up on that. That's a dangerous point because, well, not really, because once we get above that, it's going to shoot off. This is the direction you want to go to. Now, given that it continues to drop and hits the support and it breaks through, okay, we're going to be losing some money. And don't worry, we're going to go into that too just a little bit. All right, so let's just say for the next couple of days, right, we're going to call this the retracement right here, right? So this trend is going to start coming up in the next couple of days, and I'm pretty sure it will, honestly. And if not, if it drops down, that's fine too. We're still in a safe zone. Like as long as we're like in the medium of this wedge, that's where we want to be in that channel. So anytime that we're like right here in between here, we're in the safe zone, and it's still going to be inclining a little bit. Now, the moment it hangs out and the more time it spends on the bottom of this channel, that's when we're going to be in for a world of hurt. And that's where we don't want to be right now. But Matic is showing promises, right? So it dropped, and you can see even like right here, it's not the like most beautiful, but it did actually get up, and it could potentially like rise above and actually break out right here. Now, give that some thought, right? So if we're sitting about right here on the 16th of November, right, and it still comes up, it hits support, and that candle reaches above resistance here, you still want to wait for about a day or two before you actually start putting your money into it. And that being said, because it could reverse backwards pretty quickly. And if it hangs out over the resistance here and then it starts to kind of make that move down, you can probably bet that change in market is really going to drop a lot. And you're probably asking, well, how much is it going to drop, right? So from this channel, for example, if it jumps down to about right here, this isn't, if you guys know marketing, of course, and I hope you do if you're following and trading. So for example, this is about the increase you can expect. Now, triangles and wedges aren't always the most perfect, but let's just say that it breaks out about right here, day 3, right, of it hanging out. Now, this is where you're going to expect around 3.5, right, which is pretty good. It's actually very good. Now, if it falls through, the same, if it breaks down, if it comes down below the support line, the same, now you're going to drop down to $1.80, right? So this is just a good rule of thumb. Of course, most traders know this, but that's what we're looking at for Matic. So we have a good bonus here that it can actually happen. This is just a rough. It's not exact, right? But it's kind of giving you an idea about where you're going to be. So there's actually money to be made with Matic right now. So give it a shot, take a look at it, and I would definitely suggest doing it. I know I'm going to put money into Matic. It looks really, really bullish for me. So just the way these candles are going, the way the volume's going, it looks perfect. Even here, when you're looking at the volume, honestly, when you're kind of comparing to the volume is just raising, which is really great. It's still inclining. So that's really what we want. And so with that volume coming, as we're coming up here, as it's coming into this vortex here, the closer it's getting to the line of resistance, we're really setting up for a big breakout with Matic. So definitely keep at your point there. Heads out to Alex Baker. He even mentioned this too. He thinks Polygon's going to jump. Heads up. Check that out. Let's go over to some market first before we go to the other coins. All right, so Bitcoin today is sitting at $1.09 plus for the 24-hour period, and about a half of a percent for the weekly. Much better than typically, but it is hanging out at 48,000. Did some jumping back. All right, so we did kind of have that fall back to 48K. Pretty sad, right? Ethereum sitting at just shy of 1% for the daily, and just shy of 0.05 or 04 for the weekly. Still not that great, but not that bad either. Solana is one of those coins too, double digits in the red for the weekly, 16, almost 17, 2.14% for the 24-hour period. Cardano, if you will, 3.48% in the daily, minus almost 7.5% for the weekly as well. Now coming over to AVAX is up by 1% for the daily, and by it changed 0.55% and almost 6.5% for the weekly. Polygon is 8% in the plus for the weekly, still doing pretty good. For the daily, it is down by 5.73. You just seen the chart, not too bad, but not really going too much anywhere. Still kind of moving in that range. All right. So as well, Litecoin's doing pretty okay. So at 265% and 154 as well. So not too bad. Now, dude, guys, check it out. Look, the lower you go on these coins, down the line, down the ranking, like 30, for example, Axie Infinity, the better they're going to be. 143, you have Cosmos sitting at almost 7.5, minus negative 9.5 for the weekly. Not too horrible. Tezos, 738 for the weekly. You also have Gala, actually, he's doing really good. Look at 42, right? At like 56 cents on the spot. So double digits for the daily and the weekly. 1777, great numbers, by the way. And 2139 in the plus for the weekly. Phantom's doing good. I expect Phantom to do pretty good too as well in upcoming days. So check out these coins, right? They're going to make you a lot of cash. They really are. And if you don't believe me, we can dive into them a little bit deeper too. We can do some really more in-depth analysis on them. Drop a comment. Tell me which coin you really want me to dive into. We can see, and hey, try to prove me wrong, right? Put the data where the mouth is, right? So definitely do that. Jumping in back to Ethereum. Ethereum's also in this channel. It's not so great for Ethereum. So it's sitting at $4,025, right? Kind of hanging on the support line as well. It could go anywhere at this point. What I don't like is the volume's getting lower. So it's showing me if this volume's going lower, it's showing we're going to drop a little bit more before it actually explodes. So it could potentially crash again before it gets any better. Now this is not really a great way to go by this triangle, but just to kind of give an idea, a little bit of what's going on. I decided to kind of pop up there, but so it doesn't look so great. It's not going to be the accurate, but I do believe it's going to fall in the upcoming days. And if so, hopefully we can pray for a reversal, depending. But what does give me hope, again, is these red candles. They can get smaller, which will signify a bull run. So don't worry. So it's kind of hanging out. But what I do have hope in is it is kind of giving like a bull flag a little bit upcoming. So I don't think it's over for Ethereum. I think Ethereum is eventually going to really skyrocket. I think it's honestly going to go to 15, 20K eventually. But right now we're in this moment. So just bear with it. Hold on. And grip tight. These are for all you Cardano nuts, right? So everybody's speaking about Cardano. They're absolutely going haywire over Cardano, and I just cannot understand why. Cardano is trash now. I'm sorry if it upsets you, but life is life at this point. But Cardano is in the downward angle as well. Let me just move this over here a little bit. Look, it is in a descending triangle, and I don't care what you say, dude. This is a straight descending triangle. If you don't know what that means exactly descending. You can see as I was talking about the other coins, the same thing with the volume, right? It's kind of coming up, but in not a good way. That's the problem. It's not going up in a good way. The only thing that really happened is like right here. they started buying into it. But you're so far in the minus with Cardano, that it's ridiculous. Now, you notice as we're coming up to the channel and we almost had like this fake breakout, right? But it reversed. This is what we're talking about. This is why you want to be careful. Even right here, because can you imagine, you're like, oh, okay, it came down here. Now, typically this is a sign that's going to fall, which it did. It did retrace back up to the descending triangle here, but then it just collapsed, right? And just to give you an idea, like how much like these really are accurate. All right, so typically it's going to be measured by distance from support here, from the beginning of the triangle to the from support to the resistance, and this is about where you can expect it to fall. Now, you would measure that same distance typically from right about where it broke through from, right? So about right here. Now, that's pretty accurate for the most part, especially with the dip, right? So this is something you can kind of see here. So it's going to be a minute. I think it's going to continue to fall. It's just a retracement, the same like this candle, right? I think everybody at this point were thinking, oh my God, it's going to go back up, right? But yeah, no, it's just a retracement, just typical stuff here. So I think it's actually just going to maybe come up a little bit more like that retracement here, and then of course trend right back down. So nothing too special. So you can kind of see the idea, right? So it's the reverse of it. If you want more information on that, I can give it to you. Be more than happy. Drop the comment as well. I would be more than happy to assist you in any kind of way. Now, this is the same thing here as well. This is an ascending triangle, right? So you can see kind of the lines of support, and it broke through in the same manner. And this is the same what we took from the same distance. You can see about from there, and it came up, but it continued to come up, but it's not always the greatest. Always about 50%, right? So we can see about right here. Now it came up and it continued to give. That's a good point, right? Now, of course, right, retracement and coming back up and continued, but we hit that top, right? So at 296 as well. So it kind of gives you an idea of about where to expect it to go some kind of way. All right, let's get to Big Daddy. Let's get to Grandpa here. This is Bitcoin. I haven't done too much of a thing because I'm not a big Bitcoin maximalist, but for all you nutheads, 48K, still not great, right? So 48K and a half, a little over half. The thing is that the selling volume is going down, or the buying volume and the selling volume is both going down, but it's continuing to fall. The same thing when we're speaking about the trend line, the retracements, right, kind of coming back. The cool thing is that the declining candles, the red candles, are actually in fact getting smaller, and we're starting to see the buying getting a little bit better. So potentially we can see that, hopefully, that we can see the power shifting back to the buyers, right? So that's what we do want to see. No, but what would really make it much better is to see a massive buy, like all of a sudden, because it would at least give me some hope that Bitcoin is going to jump back up. It's going to be some while. I think eventually it will reach 100K, but I don't think it's soon. It's like everybody's telling you, December, buy the dip now, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Good luck to you for that. You want to argue again? We have the comment section for that. If not, show me the data. Show me how to prove it, right? So I don't think it's going to go by December since it's already halfway there. I don't even think it's going to hit by spring. I think it's going to be like midsummer or so before we get back to like 70K, 80K maybe. I think that, and that's where it's going to die out at about 85K before we get into that next crypto winter. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. That's all I have for you today. Subscribe, hit the bell, drop a comment as well, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me.